Tonight on CTV News at 6, kicking a constitutional hornet's nest.
Not every newcomer is a net contributor to the provincial revenues that fund those services.
Danielle Smith's ideas to reshape Alberta and Canada.
You'd have to get the federal government to agree, and I don't know why they would.
A standing measles exposure warning for an area near Edmonton.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned for myself because I'm vaccinated.
And Connor McDavid will skate for gold.
Great, a good way to start the weekend. I guess we'll see you all Sunday morning.
Here we are on the doorsteps of the weekend, and the weekend is looking a bit on the cold side, but it is good. But we do have a warm-up coming our way for the beginning of next week. It'll be brief, but we will be warmer. I have those details, your 5 and 10 day forecasts coming up.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Premier Danielle Smith answered questions today about the move to hold a referendum in October on 9 questions. The Premier says these questions can give the provincial government a mandate to pursue more power on immigration and Alberta's court system. In her address last night, Smith prepared Albertans for a tough budget and blamed federal immigration policies for some of Alberta's financial woes. Changes to immigration make up the bulk of the 9 referendum questions. Premier Smith says an influx of temporary workers, migrants, and asylum seekers is putting a drain on Alberta's social services. At least one immigration expert is questioning how big of a burden that truly is. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has been looking into what's behind the province's immigration concerns and joins us now. Jeremy, what kind of evidence was given today?
Well, Jeff, the Premier was asked a few times this morning for data to back up her claims that temporary immigrants are straining education, healthcare, and more. Smith could not provide a breakdown. Instead, she pointed to average costs of someone accessing schools, daycares, or hospitals. She also says immigration was a popular topic over the summer at the Alberta Next town halls.
Temporary individuals should be treated as that, temporary, and tourists.
Premier Danielle Smith says she's responding to Albertans, putting 5 immigration-related questions to referendum in October.
What we're concerned about is the number of low-skill temporary foreign workers, international students, and asylum seekers who may not be here on a permanent basis and able to be long-term permanent taxpayers.
Smith says that puts undue pressure on Alberta's social services, including education and health care. That's costing the government money ahead of a budget that's expected to run a deficit. When asked to quantify the burden in dollars, the Premier could only provide averages.
So bottom line expense, what's your number for health and education?
It's tough to know. I mean, we'd have to do the figuring out. We don't have an individual. No, we don't track residents and how much they use. All I can give you is averages about what things cost.
Premier Smith says the Trudeau government's immigration policy is to blame.
They were managing it properly up until we got to COVID, and then post-COVID, it went completely off the rails with a completely insane policy.
Government data shows immigration to Alberta peaked in 2023 and has since returned to average levels. In early 2024, the Premier was calling for more people to come to our province.
The fact that so many people have come to our province, I look at that as a positive, and we want to keep that going. That's why I've said, let's have an aggressive target to double our population.
It seems to be that this is more about politics than it is about policy.
This immigration lawyer believes the federal effort to reduce overall immigration is the correct path, and it will take years to see the results. He adds healthcare costs for refugees and asylum seekers are covered by Ottawa.
But I think this is more about distraction from mismanagement. I don't think you can blame newcomers for the fact that we haven't built a hospital in Edmonton since 1988, for example.
Now, Smith and Justice Minister Mickey Amery were also asked if they intend for this referendum to be binding. Amery says that is their intent, as they're, quote, not asking the questions out of boredom. That being said, there would still be some hoops to jump through before any results could be implemented, Jeff.
And Jeremy, what about the other potential referendum questions Albertans have on the go about the province staying or leaving Canada, and the new one about coal mining? Could those be on the October ballot?
Well, the Premier was asked about that. She says if the Citizen Initiative petitions get enough signatures and they're validated, they intend to put them on the ballot at the same time. Jeff.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. It's Jeremy Thompson live for us tonight. A spokesperson for Intergovernmental Affairs Minister Dominic LeBlanc says the federal government has already taken steps to bring immigration levels back under control. In a statement, The minister's office says progress is being made with substantial declines in asylum claims, new temporary foreign workers, and international student arrivals, so that we protect the bargain of a sustainable intake of newcomers that is consistent with our capacity to properly welcome them. The statement goes on to say Albertans will express their views on these issues as they have on several constitutional questions in the past. In addition to the referendum questions relating to immigration, voters will also be asked 4 questions that would require amendments to the Canadian Constitution. Connor Hogg is here now. And Connor, what parts of the Constitution does Alberta want to change?
Jeff, Albertans will be asked if they want to abolish the Senate and grant new provincial authority in 3 areas. First, prioritizing provincial laws over federal ones in cases dealing with provincial or shared jurisdiction. Second, the option to opt out of federal programs that deal with provincial areas like healthcare, education, and social services, while still receiving associated federal funding. And third, the ability to select justices appointed to provincial King's Bench and appeal courts.
It makes sense that your judiciary would draw from a pool of people who understand Alberta and who are aligned with Alberta. So it does make sense that we would appoint at the higher court levels.
I think as provinces, especially in my role and in the role of Executive Council as well, we have a really good line of sight.
Public law professor Gerard Kennedy says all of these amendments would require the cooperation of the federal government. Many of them would also require other provinces to get on board.
I suspect most of the provinces would agree to appoint the Superior Court and Court of Appeal judges. That's just more power for the provinces. And again, if you were designing a constitution from scratch, I could see why you might want to do that. But again, you would have to get the federal government to agree, and I don't know why they would.
Kennedy says several of the proposals would also need approval from both the House of Commons and the Senate, meaning the Senate would have to vote to abolish itself. Jeff?
Okay, Connor, thank you very much. That's Connor Hogg live tonight. RCMP Major Crimes is investigating a suspicious death in St. Albert. Police say they were called to a fire on Keystone Crescent in St. Albert yesterday afternoon. After the fire was put out, a body was found inside. RCMP say the death is suspicious. Although it's early in the investigation, RCMP believe it was targeted. They say there is no ongoing risk to the public. And Edmonton police are identifying a man who was shot and killed in the Castle Downs neighborhood earlier this week. On Monday, officers found 38-year-old Ali Nur Mohammed Musa suffering from gunshot wounds. He died in hospital. Last September, a man by the same name was acquitted in a deadly shooting at a party at the Duggan Community Hall in 2021. That same person was also facing firearms charges in connection with the shooting at the Urtail Lounge in 2022. The city says more than 70% of Priority 2 roads and paths are now clear after more than 20 centimeters of snow fell earlier this week. Officials say deploying contractors as soon as the snow started to fly sped up the effort. Nicole Weisberg has more.
3 days after a winter storm slammed the capital city, the sun is out and traffic is flowing. The city says more than 70% of Priority 2 roads, which include lower priority freeways, bus routes, arterial and collector roads, are cleared. The Phase 1 parking ban remains in effect, but will likely be lifted soon.
Normal Phase 1 parking bans last 3 to 5 days, so we'd be expecting to finish up by the end of the weekend.
After more than 20 centimeters of snow fell, the head of the city's snow and ice program said a residential parking ban was possible. Now she says they won't be going that route.
In order to minimize impact on residents but provide a service to residential roads, we will be completing a grooming cycle over the next 10 to 14 days.
Valerie Dasick says that means truck plows with special ice blades will flatten the snowpack and increase traction. Sand will also be applied at the entrances and intersections of residential streets. After weeks of snow removal complaints in December and January, for this storm, the city called contractors right away instead of waiting until the snow stopped falling.
The road conditions were awful. This time around, I'd say they did react better.
I think they've done better because they started right away. You know, makes a big difference.
This is, I think, a good example of what we need to be doing going forward.
In addition to being more proactive, the mayor says he wants to ensure the city's in-house resources are enough, something he says will be discussed during the 2026 budget engagement. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Looking at those pictures from Tuesday in Nicole's story, Corey, what a difference. Even minus 11 today feels fantastic.
Yeah, with the sun, you're right, Jeff. It felt great today. We warmed up quite nicely. We started off around minus 23, I believe. We'll have to take a look at your almanac shortly. As we look outside right now at the current temperature, we are at minus 15. Still mostly clear, wind nice and light, just taking off 3 degrees to account for that. The wind chill feeling like minus 18. As we take a look at the almanac, minus 11 is what we made it to for a high today. Minus 23 is where we started. Average seasonal high is minus 2. Now, as we head into next week, we will see temperatures just below and then above that. So there's a warm-up coming our way. But before we get there, it's still going to be chilly this weekend. So we're now at a total of 4 days below average seasonal high. The rest of the month was still a bit on the warm side, and we'll add some more days above as we get into next week. As we take a look at your forecast for tonight, temperature dropping to about minus 19 at 9, minus 25 overnight, so a little bit chillier to start tomorrow morning. Feeling like minus 30. The wind nice and light, but still giving a little bit of a wind chill. Minus 15 for a high for tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud, feeling like minus 19. And here is your 3-day forecast. The cloud builds in and it sticks around for Sunday. So a cloudy Sunday. Minus 20 to start, minus 16 for a high. And then as we go throughout the late evening into the overnight period and early Monday, a slight chance of flurries, about a 40% chance we could see some scattered flurries. It doesn't look like anything too significant at this point, and then a slight chance of flurries on Monday. I'll take a look at your 5 and 10-day forecast next time we chat weather. Jeff.
Thanks, Corey. Still ahead, a public health alert has been issued for Parkland County.
Measles still kills about 100,000 people per year on the planet.
A reminder, measles is still a concern in Alberta, and
I'm an adult. We could handle with kids and stuff. You messing with my kids, I don't like that.
An outbreak of an illness at a hotel in Cancun with some people who became sick complaining the resort has tried to buy their silence.
The CTV drone powered by Century Casino. 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A standing measles alert has been issued for Parkland County. Many people living in the area say they aren't concerned about the infectious disease. Evan Kenny has more on what one health expert thinks about the relaxed response.
I'm not that concerned. It's business as usual for people living in Spruce Grove, still going to the grocery store after the province put out an alert for measles in Parkland County. They say there's some concerns, but not enough to change their daily routines.
Is there anything that you're going to change after hearing this news, or anything you'll do different?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned for myself because I'm vaccinated.
I mean, it's not great when you lose your measles-free status.
One infectious disease specialist says those feelings are fair as long as those people are vaccinated or born before 1970.
If someone is born before 1970, they've likely had measles in the past and have lifelong immunity. Those born after 1970, if they've received 2 doses of a vaccine, their risk is negligible.
Bogosh says many people think because at one time the measles was common, it's not dangerous.
I mean, the virus is with you regardless, so.
Bogosh says that isn't true.
It used to be very common and everyone did get it, but not everyone was fine. Measles still kills about 100,000 people per year on the planet.
The public alert is for all of Parkland County, which spans 2,400 square kilometers.
It really depends on where the outbreak was, because if it was somewhere that I don't usually go to, or somewhere that because Parkland County is not super duper small, right?
Alberta Primary and Preventative Care Services says this is a general public alert to remind anyone living in or traveling to Parkland County of the risks of measles disease. This advisory is not linked to a specific location, date, or exposure, and in place until further notice. It says there has been a small number of recent confirmed cases, and officials believe the virus is spreading. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Spruce Grove.
A Manitoba physician has been named Canada's new top doctor. Dr. Joss Reimer replaces Theresa Tam as Canada's Chief Public Health Officer. Dr. Tam became a household name across the country during the COVID-19 pandemic. She retired in June. Reimer was Chief Medical Officer for the Winnipeg Health Authority and was also a former president of the Canadian Medical Association. She steps into the role in April. Travelers are sharing stories of falling violently ill after staying at a Mexican resort. Now, some allege the resort tried to get them to sign non-disclosure agreements in exchange for medical care. CTV's John Woodward reports.
Several fire trucks and ambulances lined up at Pearson Airport's Terminal 3 Thursday night called for 7 patients sick on a WestJet flight back from Cancun. No one went to hospital that night, but it may not be the only case.
You're cramping, throwing up. Your eyeballs feel like they're ripping out of your head. It's the worst feeling. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we've had COVID. This was worse than COVID for us.
Neil Matheson was on a flight back from Cancun the day before. He says he passed out on the WestJet flight home, his 19-month-old son now undergoing tests.
For me, I'm an adult. We could handle with kids and stuff. You messing with my kids, I don't like that stuff.
He and his family stayed at the Royalton Splash Riviera, a common thread among many vacationers who reached out to CTV News after our first story about many people in that hotel getting sick with norovirus or E. coli, several so serious they were hospitalized.
This is a terrifying experience.
Christina Wishlow's family went in December. She says they got sick too, and in a dispute with the hotel following that, she was presented with a contract that says she shall not directly or indirectly disclose the incident or any other perceived negative experience relating to the incident to anyone in any way, saying it is the intention of the parties to avoid and prevent publicity. The payment, 20,000 Marriott Bonvoy points, or about $200 Canadian.
Clearly, they're not trying to fix the problem. They're just trying to hide it.
Matheson said he was presented with a similar contract in exchange for a free doctor's visit that would have otherwise cost them $900. He didn't sign it.
We're humans. We have kids, families, and lives. And, you're trying to silence what's going on here.
No Canadian court would uphold a contract like that, says this tourism professor.
You need a doctor. Sign this NDA before you can go to the doctor. That's never going to be enforceable.
No one from WestJet, Royalton Splash Cancun, or the Marriott hotel chain returned our emails, but hotel guests say they'll talk about what happened, contract or not. John Woodward, CTV News.
Still ahead, Connor McDavid will skate in Sunday's Olympic gold medal hockey game.
Great. A good way to start the weekend. I guess we'll see you all Sunday morning.
The highlights from Milano Cortina today, and
in 2004 in Athens, Lori-Ann Munzer from Edmonton won the gold medal. And then in Tokyo, I get to call it again, it's Kelsey Mitchell.
A different kind of Olympic dream, live on air for the last 3 decades.
Well, we hit minus 11 today with a lot of sun. It felt quite nice. The weekend, it's right around the corner. It's looking a little bit chillier, but in the extended forecast, we do have a little bit of a warm-up coming our way. It's brief, but it's nice. I will have those details. Your 5 and 10-day forecast coming up.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Big day for Team Canada in Milano Cortina as we head into the final weekend of the Olympics. Canada will play for gold in men's hockey, and more athletes proudly wearing the maple leaf found themselves on the podium. CTV's Scott Hurst has your Olympic roundup.
Dreams of Olympic gold are still alive in the men's hockey tournament.
Ultimately, a big win, and now they get to play for the gold medal.
Team Canada beat Finland today to punch their ticket to the final game. The Canadians were trailing 2-0 in the second period when the red and white scored 3 unanswered goals.
This little bit of adversity, this is a good thing for Team Canada. They've learned what it takes when the games tighten up and the skill part is not necessarily available to them right off the bat. How do you grind so you can get to that skill game?
Nova Scotia's Nathan McKinnon with the game winner on the power play with just 35 seconds left in regulation. The final score, 3-2 for Canada. More medals today in speed skating. Valerie Malte was back on the podium for the 3rd time at Milano Cortina in long track. The 35-year-old in her 5th Olympic Winter Games won bronze in the women's 1,500 meter. Canada also landed on the podium in men's free ski halfpipe. Brendan McKay needed a big score on his 3rd and final run, and that's exactly what he got from the judges. A 91 even, enough to put him into 3rd, a bronze medal for the 28-year-old from Calgary in his 2nd Olympics. With just a couple of days left in the Olympics, there are still plenty of opportunities for Canadians to land on the podium, including in both men's and women's curling. The women will play for bronze against the Americans tomorrow, while the men have a shot at gold against Great Britain. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Sports fans across Canada have likely seen or heard an Edmonton man live out his Olympic dream over the past 3 decades. He's profiled countless athletes and has witnessed many of them achieving gold. Now we are profiling him and his unique Olympic journey. CTV's Nicole Lampa reports.
Mark Connelly spends retirement in his basement studio contributing to sports podcasts.
Hey, Steve, is that you?
He remembers a call from his boss 30 years ago while working at a news station in Edmonton.
He said to me, I just got a call from the network and they want you to go to the Olympics. Do you want to go to Atlanta? And I stood up, I was holding the phone, I was, yes, obviously. Hung up and I'm looking around like, doesn't anybody realize my life just changed? And I thought, okay, if I get to go to these Olympics, at least I've done it once in my life.
Connelly was assigned to report on the 1996 Atlanta Summer Olympic Games and ended up doing the live play-by-play for tennis.
We ended up calling the gold medal game for the women. It was pretty exciting to do that. It was unexpected. Something had happened at the stadium, so they threw to us and said, you need to fill, and we just kept going and going.
2 years later, Connelly was capped to go to the Winter Games in Japan.
And then Salt Lake in 2002.
Certificates show he's covered 12 Olympics as a journalist, 10 of them in person. Connelly says the highlight of his career involved 2 local Olympians.
In 2004 in Athens, Lori-Ann Munzer from Edmonton won the gold medal. And then in Tokyo, I get to call it again, it's Kelsey Mitchell. And she wins the gold. She's from Edmonton in the exact same race. That's a pretty cool bookend for my career as well. Now Kelsey Mitchell is also in this Olympics because she's in the bobsleigh, which I also covered. So
Connelly is still doing what he loves.
And I'm going to be on at 12:25, right?
Talking about sports and inspiring others to do what they can to pursue their own dreams.
Work really, really hard at being the best you can be. You never know when you're going to get the opportunity.
Nicole Lampa, CTV News, Edmonton.
So bright and early Sunday, gold medal game hockey, then the closing ceremony. The Olympics have flown by this year, haven't they?
Closing ceremony's already coming up.
Yeah.
Wow, that has blown by.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
I guess we were distracted by some winter weather this week.
Just a little.
Yeah, next week we've got some warm weather coming our way, but Sunday will be a nice day just to maybe stay in and watch a hockey game in the morning. Right now you're taking a live look outside, mostly clear sky, and this is through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam. Action Furnace fixed right, or it's free, -15. Our temperature has been dropping. We did make it to -11 today, but it has been dropping off as we've been progressing throughout the late afternoon, early evening now. This morning, we started off at -23, Red Deer -26, Fort McMurray -34, Cold Lake -37. So it was very cold in some areas to start off. Temperatures today, our highs, Cold Lake, Fort McMurray, Slave Lake, -15 and -13, -11 for us. The mountain parks were quite nice. Jasper -7 and Banff -6. Still, it was quite cold in the southern areas of the province. Lethbridge only made it to -17. They're now at -20. Again, we're better than them right now as far as our temperature, -15. Fort McMurray -18. Fort McMurray still under an extreme cold warning. With the clear sky in their area, their temperature is really going to dip down tonight, close to -30. For us, we won't be that cold, and our wind has died down, so our wind chill will be minimal as well. Fairly clear to the east, northeast, north and south as well. Once you get towards Grand Prairie, a little bit of cloud coming there with some scattered flurries, but for us, it's mostly clear right now, and we're mostly clear as we go throughout the rest of the evening. Overnight tonight, a little bit more cloud coming in, and as we go throughout tomorrow, it's a mix of sun and cloud. As we head into the afternoon, we start to see some scattered flurries north of Edson up towards Grand Prairie, Peace River, and then into Sunday, those will start to pick up. For us, fairly cloudy through Sunday. Sunday night, a slight chance of flurries, but a better chance of snow as we go throughout Sunday afternoon and evening for areas to the northwest and north of us. As we take a look at our forecast for tomorrow, we're going to start off at -25, feeling like -30. -15 for a high for tomorrow with a nice mix of sun and cloud. Temperature for Sunday, -20 to start, -16 for a high, fairly cloudy for Sunday. As we saw in the futurecast, chance of snow and flurries to the northwest and to the north. For us, as we go throughout late Sunday evening into the early morning hours, a slight chance of flurries, about a 40% chance, and then a 30% chance on Monday, mostly cloudy. -13. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, -3 and 2. Mainly sunny, looking quite nice, and we go even warmer than that for Thursday with a high of 5. And then Thursday night into Friday, we could see some snow. That's ahead of some colder air for Friday, -14. Our temperature will drop through the day, and then the weekend to follow does look a little bit chillier. Temperature's not as cold as what we saw at the beginning of this week, but another cool down coming our way before we end off this warm-up. So a little bit of a reprieve. It's still going to be a bit of a chilly weekend, but something to look forward to for the beginning of next week. Jeff.
Sure is. Thanks, Corey. Still ahead, more reaction to the Premier's speech.
She's stoking the flames and raising the temperature, and that is the opposite of leadership.
What the many proposals in Danielle Smith's provincial address may mean for Alberta and Canada also.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed.
Donald Trump's reaction to a significant Supreme Court defeat.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Returning to our top story, Albertans are headed to the polls this October. The province wants you to have your say on 9 referendum questions, many aimed at immigration and provincial power. With more reaction, here's CTV's Mark Villani.
In a provincial address, Premier Danielle Smith says rapid population growth is creating serious pressures on public services like schools, hospitals, housing, and infrastructure.
Not every newcomer is a net contributor to the provincial revenues that fund those services, and that's the crux of the challenge facing us.
And immigration is one of the things the province will ask Albertans about in a series of 9 referendum questions October 19th. They include whether Alberta should take more control over immigration levels, restrict eligibility for some programs, or charge fees to certain non-permanent residents. But critics say the questions are just a scapegoat for problems that could have been solved with better planning.
She just promised not to make cuts to the public sector and to run a large deficit and to give a tax cut in exchange. So somebody has to be blamed.
She's stoking the flames and raising the temperature, and that is the opposite of leadership.
Alberta's separation isn't a referendum question yet, but some separatists call all of this meaningless. Public Interest Alberta says blaming low oil prices and former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's immigration policies is just passing the buck.
And now we're hearing Premier Smith and the UCP say, this is a shock to the system we couldn't have expected. It just doesn't really pass the sniff test.
The referendum ballot will also ask broader constitutional questions, including whether the federal Senate should be abolished, if provinces should be able to opt out of federal programs without losing funding, and whether provinces should have more authority in selecting judges.
A vast majority of those federal appointees did have political contributions. We try to avoid that here in this province.
Legal experts say however people vote, Alberta has little constitutional power.
Will enable the Premier to enter into negotiations with the federal government and probably, almost certainly actually, other provinces to try to get a constitutional amendment.
Meanwhile, the Alberta Coalition of Defence Council, which represents 400 lawyers in the province, says it's all just an attack on the rule of law.
This is how fascism starts. And this is why it's so alarming right now.
But Premier Smith says she's leaving it up to Albertans to decide their future.
They're frustrated that they've never had a say in any of this.
The Premier's current aim on immigration has raised questions about her public stance on the issue in the past. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Michael Wube moved to Calgary from Ethiopia last year.
The difference is safety and also opportunity.
His mother moved here first as a refugee, so he may be able to apply for permanent residence status. His computer science degree is not accepted in Canada, so he's doing it again while working as a security guard overnight.
Hopefully enroll in AI projects in Alberta and contribute to this country.
Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith has talked about the need to bring in skilled workers, but also flagged immigration as a concern while previewing a deficit budget. Alberta's population spiked between 2021 and 2024, with about 400,000 people moving from other provinces and other countries. Premiers Jason Kenney and Danielle Smith invited people to come, with the Alberta is Calling campaigns between 2022 and 2024, advertising opportunities and offering $5,000 $10,000 for newcomers moving into the province. In a 2024 podcast, Premier Smith said she wanted a population boom.
Let's have an aggressive target to double our population. People are going to want to come here, and we want to embrace them. We're almost at 5 million. We'll be at 5 million.
So you want to double it to 10 million?
Yeah, I do.
That same year, the Premier sent a letter to Justin Trudeau requesting more immigrants, something she continues to say.
They reduced us down to, I think, 4,500. We believe it should be more like 35,000, that Alberta should be controlling the number of economic migrants and matching those with the skills with the jobs that are available. And that stays true.
A Calgary economist says during the population boom, Alberta's senior population, which typically costs much more in healthcare, did not spike as well.
Most of the inflow has been young people, not old people. And so because the drive of increased spending is disproportionately accounted for by health, it's really not something that can be explained because of immigration flows.
A Calgary immigration lawyer says it's mixed messaging to blame immigration after inviting people in, but not preparing for a population boost.
I think this is more about distraction from mismanagement. I don't think you can blame newcomers for the fact that we haven't built a hospital in Edmonton since 1988, for example.
Wu Bei hopes his AI experience helps grow Alberta's economy.
If you are part of the working force, and if you're contributing to the country, and if you came here for the sake of peace, I think that's a good intention.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
For more than a year now, the Trump administration has used tariffs as a tool against Canada and the world to raise revenue. But in a closely watched ruling this morning, the U.S. Supreme Court said Trump was overstepping his authority by putting some of those trade barriers in place. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed.
The American president says he's deeply disappointed in the U.S. Supreme Court decision striking down so-called IEEPA or fentanyl tariffs. He then, as many predicted, announced new ones.
Today I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country.
President Trump has famously said his favorite word is tariff. And so I don't think they're going to simply walk away.
IEEPA tariffs collected an estimated $240 billion. The Supreme Court decision did not address refunds, while one dissenting opinion noted handling them would be a mess.
Unraveling that and securing refunds is going to be messy, but that's certainly going to be a key issue that Canadian businesses are going to be focused on.
While steel and aluminum, automotive and lumber tariffs remain in place. Yet the vast majority of Canadian goods were exempt from IEEPA tariffs anyway due to CUSMA, the free trade deal that's up for review.
With these midterms, with a shifting political climate in the United States, with the inability of Congress to just follow him at a command, all of those things add up to a situation where I think it is more likely that he's actually going to engage on CUSMA than attempt to burn it to the ground.
The lead minister on the Canada-U.S. file said in a statement the court decision reinforces Canada's position that IEEPA tariffs are unjustified, but, quote, critical work lies ahead to fight for businesses still impacted by tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ottawa has updated its travel advice for First Nations people heading to the United States. New guidelines online are urging them to carry a passport in addition to a status card when crossing the U.S. border. Before this week, the government website said First Nations people could freely enter the United States for several purposes, including employment or immigration. The Assembly of First Nations has been warning First Nations people to be wary in light of immigration enforcement raids in recent months. The last flights operated by Canadian Airlines have left Cuba. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canadian Airlines have brought nearly 28,000 travelers safely back to Canada. She says some international airlines are still offering commercial flights for anyone stuck in the Caribbean country. These are the dim nighttime scenes in Havana. Canadians are being urged to avoid all non-essential travel to the country as the crisis over shortages of many essentials from food to electricity worsens during a U.S.-imposed oil blockade. Still ahead, releasing the records.
I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it.
Donald Trump vows to release what his government knows about extraterrestrial life, and
this is the culmination of, a lot of efforts to get to these games.
Strathcona County nearly ready to host the 2026 Alberta Summer Games. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by Leading Ladies of Broadway with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar closed near 73 cents U.S. Oil was up 8 cents, closing the day at $66.48 U.S. a barrel. Gold gained more than $83. The TSX and Dow Jones both ended the day higher, up 222 points and 230 points, respectively. The Canada Revenue Agency says taxpayers should have an easier time filing their taxes this year. The agency revamped its operations thanks to a government-ordered service improvement plan. It's focused on addressing call center delays. The CRA says it has streamlined its websites and hired more call center workers. The 2025 tax filing season begins Monday. A gold medal from the 1952 Winter Olympics has been auctioned off for $50,000. RR Auction says the medal once belonged to William Gibson, a member of the Edmonton Mercury's hockey club that represented Canada at the Oslo Games. Gibson was Canada's leading scorer in that tournament. The auction house says the medal was with the Gibson family for more than 70 years. Strathcona County is counting down to the 2026 Alberta Summer Games. With 6 months to go, the board recently secured a $75,000 grant from the Alberta government. Organizers say the money will help feed the 2,000 athletes that will descend on the county this summer. Athletes from 11 years old to 16 years old will compete across individual and team sports at facilities in and around Strathcona County. The board chair says after 2 years of planning, everything is falling into place. He's most looking forward to the arrival of the athletes.
The excitement that comes with this age group specifically, it's pretty cool to see them. And this is the culmination of, a lot of efforts to get to these games for them as well across. They've had to qualify in order to get here. So it's just that excitement of them coming in.
Volunteer opportunities will open in the coming weeks. The last time Strathcona County hosted the Alberta Games was 26 years ago. NASA is targeting a March 6th launch for the Artemis II, sending astronauts around the moon. The space agency confirmed the date after a successful wet dress rehearsal. The important test sees the rocket filled with fuel before going through a practice run of the countdown sequence. Canadian Jeremy Hansen, along with 3 American astronauts, will embark on the 10-day journey designed to clear the way for a future moon landing. UFO enthusiasts are over the moon. Donald Trump has ordered the Pentagon and other government agencies to release files related to flying saucers, unidentified aerial phenomena, and alien life. Here's CTV's John Venevali Rao.
My gosh. American Navy pilots have spotted them. Look at that thing. Strange objects flying in unusual ways. But now the U.S. president vowing to release whatever his government knows about UFOs and aliens. But is Donald Trump a believer?
I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it.
Trump directing America's Department of War and other agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. That includes UFOs, which these days are called unidentified aerial phenomena.
A lot of UFO fans are really excited that this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. This is Christmas. We're going to be getting all the files.
There's some. It all comes after former U.S. President Barack Obama appeared on a podcast and offered a surprising answer to this question.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51.
His statement that they're real led to so much buzz online, Obama later clarified, writing, "Statistically, the universe is so vast that the odds are good there's life out there," adding, "I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us, really." Still, Trump accused Obama of revealing classified information. In 2024, the U.S. Pentagon said there was no evidence alien life had ever been encountered, but added there were sightings that needed further investigation. Still, of Trump's latest directive, some think he's just using it to deflect attention.
Some people had said already that this was going to be a distraction from some other files that he doesn't want to release. So maybe we'll get something, but I'm not holding my breath quite yet.
Meanwhile, Trump did not set any kind of a deadline for the release of information. John Vanavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, year-round destination.
We have interest from around the world, so this isn't just Alberta money and some BC money coming in.
The expansion plans for Fortress Mountain and the environmental concerns that come with it.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
The Fortress Mountain Resort is hosting open houses to get feedback on a major expansion plan. They want to turn the old resort into a year-round facility with on-hill accommodations, shopping, and activities for visitors. The work is planned over a 15-year period, and the first phase could start in 2027. CTV's Kevin Fleming reports.
It's far from its former glory as a thriving ski resort, but Fortress Mountain will soon look much different. None of this old infrastructure can be saved, and investors are ready to spend close to $100 million in the first phase of redevelopment here.
We're very well capitalized, and we're also going to be doing this with many, many partners. And the really exciting part is that we have interest from around the world. So this isn't just Alberta money and some BC money coming in. We have European and American money that is really keen on investing in this project.
David McKenna says work could begin soon on the new look for the mountain.
I think 26 won't see really anything really happening on the ground. There simply won't be time in the construction calendar for that, but starting in 27 we'll be able to get things moving.
But before any of that work can start, there are public consultations underway to get feedback from people in Canmore, Calgary, and Edmonton. Randy Johnson is an avid hiker who says the developers have a lot of work to get the project right, not only for visitors, but the animals.
The wildlife corridors, many people will come here to see wildlife, but if you have a large number of people, that scares the wildlife away. So how do you get the right balance?
Helena Ansari wants to learn as much about the project as she can.
I think it's good that they're engaging and they're talking, they're willing to answer questions. I wish they knew a bit more. I think we were asking some questions and they didn't know the answers.
In December, the province gave the green light to year-round operations at Fortress, Castle Mountain, and Nikiska. That has the NDP and the Canadian Parks and Wilderness Society worried.
We do want to see sustainable tourism in the province. And unfortunately, seeing what's going on with Fortress right now, it really is representing a lot of those worst case scenario concerns that we had when the All-Season Resorts Act first went into play.
I think that everybody involved is Calgary local or has lived in the mountains, and so nobody's really interested in ruining the very thing that will make it popular for people to attend.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
That stirs up some memories. Fun fact, Fortress was my favorite mountain to ski at when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Lots of fun, yeah, lots of gullies and things you could do tricks in. Yeah, it was awesome.
I didn't know you were quite the trick skier at that age.
No. Well, I just like to go fast in a straight line off jumps and see, whatever happened, right?
Pretty impressive, pretty impressive. The forecast, minus 25 to start tomorrow, minus 15 for a high. Light wind tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. Sunday, fairly cloudy, minus 16, so a little bit cooler on Sunday. And then Sunday night into Monday, just a slight chance we could see some flurries, minus 13 for Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, that's where the warm-up is, minus 3 and 2. Something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Corey. And thank you very much for sharing your time with us. Have a great weekend, everyone.